Do your feet ever start burning the moment you finally lie down at night? Maybe all day long they felt mostly normal, but as soon as the house becomes quiet, the lights go dim, and you try to rest, a strange heat begins to build in the soles of your feet. Some people describe it as burning. Others say it feels like hot sand, pins, and needles, or an electric tingling that makes sleep difficult. Many older adults immediately assume one thing: neuropathy. And yes, sometimes that is exactly what it is, but not always. That is the part many people do not realize. Burning feet at night can have more than one cause, and if you assume it is always neuropathy, you may completely miss the real problem. Hello, I'm Dr. Adrian Keller, and in today's video we're talking about burning feet at night and why it is not always neuropathy. This is a very common complaint after 60, and it is also one of the most misunderstood. Many seniors are told to just accept it. Others are told it must be nerve damage. But the truth is much more nuanced. Your feet can burn at night because of nerve irritation, yes, but also because of circulation issues, blood sugar instability, inflammation, pressure, nutrient deficiencies, and even simple daily habits that quietly stress the feet over time. And this matters because your feet are not just body parts at the end of your legs. They are your connection to the ground. They help you walk, balance, stand, turn, and move through the world with confidence. When something feels wrong in the feet, your independence is often the first thing to feel threatened. Let us start with the question many people ask: why does this symptom feel worse at night? That is one of the most interesting parts of the story. During the day, your brain is busy. You are moving, talking, watching, walking, thinking, doing tasks. Even if your feet are mildly uncomfortable, your attention is spread across 100 things. But at night, everything becomes quieter. There are fewer distractions. The body is still. The brain has less outside input. And suddenly, sensations that were mild all day become much more noticeable. But that is not the only reason. When you lie down, blood flow patterns shift. Pressure changes. The feet may warm under blankets. The muscles are no longer pumping blood as actively. If there is inflammation, irritation, or nerve sensitivity already present, that nighttime stillness can make it feel stronger. It is almost like the body turns the background volume down, and the discomfort in your feet suddenly becomes the loudest sound in the room. Now, let us talk about the first possible cause: neuropathy. Neuropathy simply means nerve dysfunction or nerve irritation. It often creates symptoms such as tingling, numbness, burning, stabbing, or loss of sensation. In older adults, neuropathy may be linked to blood sugar problems, vitamin deficiencies, medication effects, alcohol history, circulation issues, or sometimes causes that are never fully identified. When nerves are irritated, they can send the wrong signals. Think of nerves like electrical wires. If the wire is healthy, the signal is clean and accurate. But if the wire is damaged or poorly insulated, the signal becomes distorted. Instead of normal sensation, the brain may receive messages that feel like heat, burning, buzzing, or electrical discomfort. This is why neuropathy is often blamed first when feet burn at night, and sometimes that blame is correct. But now we come to the part that changes everything. Burning feet are not always caused by nerve damage alone. The second major cause can be poor circulation. This surprises a lot of people because they think poor circulation should make the feet feel cold, not hot. And yes, cold feet are common with circulation problems, but circulation problems can also create strange temperature sensations, heaviness, pressure, and irritation. When the feet are not getting steady, healthy blood flow, tissues can become stressed. Small nerves become more sensitive. Waste products clear more slowly. Inflammation may linger. The result is not always simple coldness. Sometimes it becomes a burning, throbbing discomfort that gets worse when you stop moving. Think of healthy circulation like fresh air flowing through a room. If the air moves well, the room stays comfortable. But if airflow becomes poor, the room grows stuffy and irritating. The same kind of thing can happen in the feet. If blood flow is poor, the tissues become less comfortable, less nourished, and more reactive. This is especially common after 60 because circulation naturally becomes more vulnerable. Blood vessels may stiffen, activity levels may drop, muscles pump less often, hydration may be worse, and all of that makes the feet a more fragile place. The third possible cause is blood sugar instability. Even without a formal diabetes diagnosis, repeated blood sugar spikes can irritate nerves and small blood vessels over time. This creates the perfect environment for burning feet. Not because one dessert caused it overnight, but because repeated glucose stress builds slowly in the background. Imagine pouring a mildly irritating liquid over delicate tissue day after day. The damage may start quietly. At first, you barely notice it. Then one day the feet start tingling. Then they burn. Then they feel numb in certain spots. This is how blood sugar instability often works. It does not always announce itself dramatically. It slowly changes the environment around the nerves. This is why some people say, "My doctor said I'm not diabetic, so this cannot be blood sugar." But that is not always true. Prediabetes, insulin resistance, and repeated sugar spikes can still affect nerves and circulation. And here is something important. Nighttime can make this feel even worse. If dinner is heavy, sugary, or late, blood sugar may stay elevated longer into the evening. Then you lie down, become inactive, and the feet are left in an inflamed, irritated state right when you are trying to rest. That is why some people notice burning feet more after certain meals or late-night snacks. The fourth possible cause is nutrient deficiency. This is another one many people miss. Nerves need nutrients to function properly. They need oxygen, blood flow, and protective support. If certain vitamins or minerals are too low, the nerves become more vulnerable. Vitamin B12 is one of the most important. Low B12 can contribute to numbness, tingling, burning, weak legs, and balance issues. Vitamin D may also matter. Magnesium may play a role, particularly where muscle tension, cramping, or nerve irritability are involved. This is why it is dangerous to assume every burning foot symptom has the same cause. One person may have blood sugar-related nerve stress. Another may have poor circulation. Another may have pressure from footwear and inflammation. Another may have a B12 issue. And some may have more than one thing at the same time. Now let us talk about pressure and inflammation, because these are often ignored too. Not every burning foot symptom starts inside the blood vessels or deep inside the nerves. Sometimes the feet are simply being stressed too much from the outside. Poor footwear, too much standing on hard surfaces, tight shoes, swelling, pressure points, poor support, even mild inflammation from repetitive stress can make the feet feel hot, tired, or burning by the end of the day. And then, when evening comes, those irritated tissues become much more noticeable. Think of your feet like overworked hands. If you used your hands all day in awkward positions and then finally stopped, you would feel the soreness more in the quiet hours. Feet behave the same way. Long-standing, poor support and pressure can build subtle inflammation all day, then create a nighttime burning sensation once the body gets still. This is why some people get burning feet even without obvious neuropathy. So what signs should you watch for? If the feet burn at night, pay attention to whether there is also numbness. Numbness suggests nerves may be more involved. If there is tingling in the toes, that matters too. If the feet feel unusually cold at other times of day, circulation may be part of the story. If there is swelling, color change, or heaviness, that adds another clue. If the burning is worse after sugary meals or worse after long standing, those patterns matter. The body often leaves hints. We just need to notice them. Another sign to watch for is balance changes. If your feet feel strange and your balance feels less trustworthy, do not ignore that. The feet are full of sensory information. They tell the brain where the ground is, how stable you are, and how your weight is shifting. If the sensory quality of the feet changes, balance often changes too. And then there is the question of whether both feet are involved or only one. If both feet burn in a similar pattern, especially in the toes and soles, that often points more toward metabolic, nerve, or circulation-related causes. But if one foot is much worse than the other, or if the discomfort is tied to a specific part of the foot, then pressure, injury, footwear, or localized issues may be playing a larger role. That is why careful observation matters so much. Now let us talk about what helps, because that is the part people need most. The first thing that helps is not guessing too quickly. Burning feet at night are a signal, not a full diagnosis. The smartest approach is to step back and ask, what pattern do I see? Does it happen after sugary foods? Does it happen after long periods of standing? Do I also have numbness? Do my feet feel cold during the day and burning at night? Is balance changing? Are my legs weak too? Have I been dehydrated? Have I been sitting too long? Have I had my B12 checked? The second thing that helps is improving hydration. This sounds basic, but it matters. Better hydration supports blood volume, circulation, and tissue comfort. Many seniors go through the day mildly dehydrated without knowing it. Then by evening, circulation is less efficient, the blood is more concentrated, and tissues become more sensitive. You do not need to flood yourself with water before bed, but you do need consistent hydration throughout the day. The third thing that helps is blood sugar stability. This is huge. If blood sugar is part of the problem, then the evening routine matters enormously. A lighter, earlier dinner, less sugar at night, fewer refined carbohydrates close to bedtime, a short walk after dinner. These habits often do much more than people expect. They reduce overnight stress on the nerves and blood vessels. They calm the system instead of provoking it. The fourth thing that helps is movement. Now I know this can sound strange. If your feet burn, movement may be the last thing you want. But gentle movement often improves circulation and reduces stagnation. It does not have to be intense. Walking around the house, light ankle circles, gentle stretching, standing up more often during the day. These things can help more than total stillness. Stillness is not always rest. Sometimes stillness becomes stagnation. The fifth thing that helps is footwear. Many people underestimate this. If your shoes are tight, poorly cushioned, worn out, or constantly press on the same areas, your feet will complain. Sometimes the body is not sending a mysterious message. Sometimes it is saying something very simple. These shoes are hurting me. Supportive, properly fitting shoes matter. So do socks that are not too tight. So does giving the feet room and relief, especially if swelling or pressure is part of the issue. The sixth thing that helps is checking nutrient status, especially when symptoms are persistent. If burning feet continue, and especially if they are paired with numbness, weakness, fatigue, or balance issues, it is reasonable to discuss things like B12, vitamin D, blood sugar, and circulation with a healthcare professional. This is not about chasing every lab test on Earth. It is about looking at the most common hidden contributors, instead of just assuming the symptom must be normal aging. The seventh thing that helps is reducing overall inflammation. That means fewer sugary foods, fewer ultra-processed snacks, better hydration, better sleep, more stable meals, and less stress on the body where possible. Inflammation is not always dramatic. Often it is low-level and chronic, but over time it changes how nerves, blood vessels, and tissues behave. Now, I want to say something very important here. Burning feet at night do not always mean severe damage, and that matters because many people get frightened when strange nerve-like symptoms begin. They imagine the worst, but symptoms are not always a verdict. Sometimes they are an early warning. Sometimes they are a sign that the body wants attention now, before a bigger problem develops. That is actually good news, because early warning signs give you a chance to respond. If the feet are burning because of blood sugar stress, that is a chance to improve evening habits. If they are burning because of poor circulation, that is a chance to move more and support vascular health. If they are burning because of B12 deficiency, that is a chance to investigate and correct it. If they are burning because of poor footwear or long standing, that is a chance to reduce strain. In other words, the symptom may be uncomfortable, but it can also be useful information. Now let us build a practical evening strategy for someone dealing with burning feet. First, avoid heavy, sugary snacks before bed. Second, hydrate well throughout the day rather than overloading at night. Third, use a little gentle movement in the evening, especially after dinner. Fourth, wear comfortable footwear during the day and avoid tight pressure. Fifth, notice patterns. Keep track of what makes it worse. Sixth, if symptoms continue, especially with numbness or balance changes, bring those details to your doctor. That is how you start turning confusion into clarity. I also want to touch on something emotional because nighttime symptoms are especially upsetting. Daytime symptoms are frustrating, yes, but nighttime symptoms feel different. They steal rest. They create anxiety. They make people dread going to bed. They make the bedroom feel like a place of discomfort instead of recovery. That can wear a person down. So if you have been dealing with this, I want you to know that your frustration makes sense. You are not exaggerating. You are not imagining it. And you are not weak for being bothered by it. Good sleep matters. Peace matters. Comfort matters. That is why it is worth investigating the real cause instead of just accepting the symptom. Before we finish, I want to ask you something. Do your feet ever burn more at night than during the day? Do they also feel numb, cold, swollen, or tingly? Do certain foods make it worse? Do you notice it more after standing or walking? Tell me your age and where you're watching from today, and tell me which symptom fits you best. I read your comments, and they help me understand exactly what this community is going through. And let me leave you with this. Your feet are messengers. They tell the truth about circulation. They tell the truth about nerve health. They tell the truth about blood sugar. They tell the truth about pressure, movement, and daily habits. If your feet are burning at night, do not rush to one explanation too quickly. Neuropathy may be part of it, but it is not always the whole story. And once you understand that, you stop feeling trapped. You start asking better questions. You start noticing patterns, and that is when real progress begins. I'm Dr. Adrian Keller, and it has been a pleasure spending this time with you today. Keep listening to your body, protect your feet, your circulation, and your mobility. And remember, early symptoms are often opportunities, not just problems. I look forward to our next conversation. Until then, take good care of yourself, and may tonight bring you a little more comfort and a little more clarity.